Okay, we're going to start a project today, and this is what you're going to need. Just a regular pencil. I like to use this right here, mixed media, because it can hold watercolors. I went to the store just a little bit ago and just got this right here. It doesn't have to be washable. It doesn't have to be. It can be the regular one, but this is what we used when I was in art 1, 2, and 3 and 4 at high school. This is just the high school stuff that we used. Of course, 8. Now my art teacher then she would get these right here and she would pop the blacks out. But since our project is going to be, a little different, and I'm just going to not use the black. And I'm only going to use what's in here. What's in here is just one paintbrush. So I'm just going to use this right here is all I'm going to use for the project. And let's get started. I have a very wonderful tip. If you don't have anything like this or a table easel, this is a gift, and it was just something that someone discarded or anything, and it's a table easel. It's not the really fancy ones like at Walmart or stuff. I have one of them, but and then you got this. You don't have to use a fancy table easel like this to prop your things up, because if you're like me and you see it laying down like this, you're going to get a little distorted and your stuff is going to be a little messed up. So if you don't have one of these, you can just do this. Use a book, a binder that can sit up, and then another book on top of it to raise it up a little bit to have that angle. This, of course, is the table easel, so I'm going to go ahead and take it down, and I'll show you. Now I'm using the 7 by 10 mixed media paper. That's what I'm using, but it can be any size you want. Okay, so say you don't have a table easel, well, you can always put your photo album binder, a book underneath, pick up your sketchbook and do it like that. Then you can just open it up to whatever you want, and of course it's got, yeah, it may do that, but you can always fix it where it'll stand on its own. Yeah, of course I got something really silly, even though I got a table easel. But you can use this just to prop it up a little, or you can do it like this. One book on it. As long as it's got a slight angle, then you can see it better. But for this demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and use my table easel. The little table easel can hold up to at least an 11 by 14. I don't take anything out of these sketchbooks. You can, but then that's a whole different thing, because you have to have a board and hold it up and tape it down and all this. But we're not going to do this. We're going to kind of do the same thing that I did in my art classes in high school. Yeah, high school. Of course, whenever I got up to college, we got the better stuff and everything. But if you're on a real strict budget, just use what you got. A couple of things piled up and just give it a slight angle. Okay, I got it fixed. I was going to use my table easel, but I went ahead and fixed it up to do it. So you just have a strong book and just push that a little bit back. Then it will tilt up, and you should be able to, you know, go into whatever page you want and just do it. But of course, it's going to fall, and you just got to be patient with it. I mean, most little tables have a lip on the bottom, which is still good and everything, and it will help. Or you can just put, this is not big enough, but you can put a binder clip. This is not big enough, but you can put a binder clip right there on the edge of the table, and it'll hold it up. Okay, I did some research, and we are going to do this in watercolor. Yeah, I tried to get something really, really simple and easy. So this is what we're going to do. But we're not going to use that much black in it. Or we will, but we're not going to do it right now. Now, since watercolors is a very strange medium and it's good for beginners because you learn how to control your paint and everything, we're going to, I'll show you some techniques that I know about or what I can do. But this is just demonstration and help you do it. So you can see that it's turned sideways, and I have my paper this way. So I'm going to do the simplest thing. Set it up like that. Then, of course, I'm going to get the pencil. And we know there's a tree in it. You can use whatever tools you have around to make it perfect if you want. But you can really pretty much freehand everything. It's pretty easy. So, and well, for me, it's easy. I'm sorry, some of my stuff that I have that I do, I say it sounds easy, but to some people, it's not going to be. So first of all, of course, I look here. I might not do exactly like that. This is just an idea. I may do opposite. So instead of having the moon right here, I'm going to move it over here. So it's up to you. So, of course, going to draw the moon. Well, we know the tree's over here, so we just draw a little tree. You know, just a Y. Pretty much a Y. And then we know it has heels. So heels are pretty much easy. They're just lines, little humpy lines and stuff like that. And so once we got it all laid out where we want everything, you know, we put our little marks like little X's where you want your stars to be. And, you know, this is pretty much going to be a starry night. And now that we got this all taken care of, the next thing we're going to do is do the watercolors. So we got it drawn. We have it drawn out. Got my watercolors. Got my, if it ain't broke, it ain't mine, or it ain't ours, water. You don't have to put like all the way up to the rim. Just a little bit of water is fine because watercolors are very, very strong. I mean, just one little spot would, you know, bleed out. And since I do have this mixed media paper, and paper seems to have the idea of absorbing more water than anything, we're gonna just use what I got. So we got our watercolors. See, we're gonna use just most of all these. I got my limited palette for us. Of course, like my art teacher and or my art teachers, and this is just basic stuff that anyone can have. So we got it drawn out. You're not exactly going to be like the reference photos. We don't have to use the same colors as the reference photos because all art is your own idea. So I'm going to move this over a little bit, and since this paintbrush is has a little bit of glue to keep the tip sharp while it's in the package, we're let me set this up, uh, this camera up, and we're going to show you how to, and then we're just going to start painting, and I'll be right back. All right, now to get started, let me lower this down just a bit so you can actually get to see a lot better as I'm doing this. Okay. I have to improvise with what I got. Alright, so we're using a limited palette. I already got the glue off of it. Sometimes I have paper towels and stuff to do this, but right now I'm just trying to do the limited stuff. Alright, so we got our watercolors and everything. All you really have to do is just put a dot of water on your watercolors. That's, these are water soluble and they're, you know, kid grade, but anybody can use these. Alright, the first thing that we notice on the reference photo is the heels. Well, we got different heels. Well, we know we have a purple heel. So we go and we I like to do straight colors. It's just me. So purple heel is right here. And we place it on there. And this is called a wet on wet technique. So you just take it, and after you add the color, and then you just blend it out. I would rather have my big, professional ones, but right now, since we're doing it this way, what people got, we're going to use this. So we know we got the purple heel. The one in the middle is purple. And the others on the references that we have other purple on there also. So this has purple, and I got it a little darker. And we just do the wet on wet. We blend it out. The more water you add closer to the line, it'll blend itself out. So we know the heels are purple on the reference photos, but of course you can do it any way you want. And of course, if you watch Ross, he always says blend, do lighter further out. So to get this one lighter, you add more water. And that's why you have this right here is for a palette, and it's just to blend your colors in. Like if you're going to have two different colors or something like that, and you just blend it out. Some of these brushes that you get, especially if you're just going to use these, you all have to get used to them being weird. Then of course you can go back in there, add a little bit more color, and define the ones that you want to be darker. Like this one. I'm going to make darker because always the closest is always the darkest. And of course, you just blend it out, wet on wet. Pretty simple and easy, right? And since we got this mixed media paper, of course you will see that it's bulking and bending, but that's why I kept it in the sketchbook. And since I like this mixed media paper, I knew it was going to do it, so that's why I kept it in here. Okay. Now that we got the purple heels, and the more water you add to it, the more it's liable to bulk or, mixed up. So, blend it all out. Okay. Now we got that. It has in there, in here, it has a little green. It looks like a little green in the sun, in the moon. So, of course, you get your green, put it a little bit there, add a little bit more water to get it the lightest you can possibly do, and then just, it doesn't matter if you go over your pencil drawing. The pencil drawing is just to let you know where it's at, and then just do the wet on wet to blend it out until it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And if you want to, you can go back in, and while it's still wet, you can define. Okay? Now that we have that, let's see, the tree has got the curly things. Well, since this is our painting or my painting, we can put anything, we can do anything. We know the sky is blue, so while this is going on, we can go ahead and put the yellow for the stars, the starry stars. So, of course, go in. Now, what yellow on most times don't show up too well, so you have to really make it saturated, and then you just put them where you want your stars to be. I put X's on there for my stars, but you can have it anywhere you want. You didn't really have to put the X's on there if you don't want. And then on this, it has these little lines coming out from them. And then you just go ahead and just draw your little lines. Like someone told someone, just use your tools. Let your tools do work for you, not you work for your tools. And since this is kind of starry night light, just okay. So now that we got that, we're going to give it a second to dry. And then we'll figure out what we want to do with the tree. Well, it has black, and they're using black as the dominant color. We don't necessarily have to use the black as the dominant color. We can, if we wanted to, use brown. Since we have a limited palette, We can use anything. And then, of course, just go in there and still do the wet on wet technique. The more water, the more it'll blend out. And since it has little curlies on it, just do your little curlies. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're all, you can place them anywhere you want. You can do darker. You can, since it's tilted a little bit, you can also make it, the more water you add to it, the more it will drip into the other and give it an effect. Just add them wherever you want. It doesn't matter where they're going to be because once we get the blue in for the sky and the other details that it has, but right at this moment, we're just not going to use the black. So we just do that. Okay, now that we have that, give it a second to dry. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and use the blue. And since it had like a round effect on everything, we're going to do a round effect too. So we're going to, right here, right there, just do it anywhere you want and just do it till it blends out. I'm going to emphasize the stars just while it's still wet, but you got to be very, very careful though. You can go in there and define your stars. But make sure it still got the round thing going. And keep the lines, like, and emphasize the stars again, you know, go in there, the dark, then work your way out. And just round and round and round and round. But if you add the water to the stars, of course you're going to have green. And you just make them look like they're going around and spinning. And since the lines are going like this, we're just little small strokes. And yeah, I know I don't talk so much when I'm doing this because I focus way too much sometimes. course, you want to emphasize the moon, so you're going to, of course, make it the darker. So you get the much as dark a blue as you can, and then just go around where the moon's at. And just work your way out. And keep it going. Look like you're spinning. Okay? Well, in the reference photos, it's got dots. So we go ahead and do the orange. And just don't know why it has it, but you know. Why it had dots, so I'm gonna kinda put the dots on it. Okay. Kinda don't like this. And this is just easy tutorial. You don't have to be a master artist to do this. Anyone can do it. Try to make it real simple. I mean, you're learning. If you're learning, you know, you have to work your way back up. Head more here. Okay. So we got that. So we got that part. Inside where our stars are at. Make them look like a spin. Just I see I got a pool right here. And just get your paintbrush as dry as you possibly can, and then you can just it'll dry out. Or you got pools that you don't like, you know, just dry out the brush and I kind of don't like that. So kind of blend it out a little. Right, in the reference photo, yeah, again it has red. So in some places it had red. So I'll go in here. I'm going to use a little drier brush. And put the little red on it. Okay, now that we got this done, I hate to do this, but we're going to go ahead and use the black. And since the black is the strongest color, that's why we got all these others down first. Okay, we get as much of black as we can. And we're going to define the tree. So we just take our brush. find our tree. So it will stand out a little bit. And yes, the tree is still wet, so it's gonna be a little tricky. Plus, on top of that, our reference photos that we had is an acrylic painting. So of course it's gonna be a little different techniques than the watercolor. I mean, I could use the acrylic on here, but I decided I wanted to use the watercolor on this demonstration. Okay, so we got our tree. And with our moon, we add our little that out. So we also saw in the sky it had more depths. Just do that. Yeah, that looks better. We had some more depths as darkers. So take it back and darken it where you want. Of course, you should wait until it's dry a little bit, but this is a different kind of watercolor, so you just get any kind of water on it, and it's more likely gonna mess it up. I'm gonna start here, so kind of emphasize where they're at. See, the black almost takes over. But we still gotta have the drawings of the circles or the movement. Okay. Moon, I kind of don't like it. So I'm going to go in here, yellow, and I'm going to add some yellow. And then, let's see. Now that I kind of like it and everything, let's see. I like it well enough just a wee bit darker. And yes, you will notice that the black is blending in, making it a dark, dark purple, which is all right. It's just that we gotta make everything else match. So we gotta go in here, make that a little darker to kind of balance it out. And you can do the same with any reference photo. Make it your own. You don't have to just copy exactly what it is. Make it your own. It don't always have to be the same. On top of that, I'm going to blend that out. Okay. Now, the fun part. Your signature. If you want to, right? If you want to, all that's left now is your signature. You can put it in pencil, or if you want to, you can go ahead and just put it in watercolor. And of course, put the date 2019. And that's it. Pretty much easy. Let's see. Just put it on there. And that's it. And that's our demonstration. Or simple things with just plain watercolors, a mixed media brush, the regular water, some books to hold it up as an easel, and of course your cup of water. That doesn't have to be full. It can be a little bit. And that's it.